Drew Timme had a marquee matchup today in the post in Oklahoma's Brady Manick, and I'm just going to say it. The Texas native not only won, he obliterated the Sooner. Like Mark said, Timme had 30 points, 13 boards today. Manick, well, he went 1 of 8 for the day for 3 points and 5 rebounds. That 3, by the way, came in the first possession of the game. He was held scoreless for the final 39 minutes and 50 seconds. Just an all-out dominant performance from Timme on both ends. He says this is just the beginning.
I mean, it's great. It's obviously a childhood dream, but this feeling's only gonna last, the rest of the night, and then we gotta prepare and a lot of work to do. We got a lot of things we can work on, and we're not satisfied with this. This is not the end goal, and we're excited for the next challenge that presents itself.
Maybe the highlight of the game actually came post-game, though, when Mark Few absolutely punked Drew Timme. You're going to see it on the replay, and then celebrated with his squad. We didn't know about this celebration in media availability, but Few was visibly wet. Check that out. Yeah, he got Drew good. So I had to ask Few about it.
Hey, we've been celebrating every one of these wins. We celebrated the other night. We're celebrating this one. If we're lucky enough to get another one, we're going to celebrate like crazy for that one. This tournament needs to be celebrated.
Gonzaga is 2-0 all-time against Creighton, their next opponent, with their last victory coming in 2018. We send it over to Karthik Venkatraman now with what happened in the Gonzaga women's basketball game.
Gonzaga women's basketball season came to an unfortunate end in the first round of the NCAA tournament today. The 5th-seeded Zags were upset by 12-seed Belmont 64-59. Things were going smoothly for the Zags early on. Jill Townsend gets the steal here. She's in transition. She'd hit the layup. That's easy work. She'd finish with 17 points. Zags went up by as many as 11 in the first quarter, but tide started to turn as Belmont logged down on defense, and Destiny Wells was going off for the Bruins. She led all players with 25 points today. They'd get up by as many as 10 in the fourth quarter, but the Zags fought back, came down to the final minutes, down 4. Jen Worth hit that jumper right there, and it's a 2-point game. Zags needed to stop, but instead Madison Bartley gets an and one, and that would be the dagger. GU did not recover. Belmont wins 64-59. It was a somber mood in the post-game press conference.
It's a hard locker room in there with a bunch of people who really care about our program, and today we didn't have enough answers.
Like you said, it wasn't what we were looking for. It wasn't, what we were planning to do. We were planning to be here for a bit, so nothing else than just disappointment.
You just heard from Jill Townsend. She is a senior on the team this season. Now, every player has a chance to come back to next season with the extra year of eligibility. Townsend said her dream was to make the Sweet 16, but not making that was very disappointing, and addressed whether, because of not achieving her goals, she would be back next season.
As of now, I'm not coming back. It's been a long year. I think every athlete can attest to that. And, they can attest probably to the mental struggles that just COVID and everything brought upon it. And it's a lot for a person to take. And so as of now, I'm done planning on Gonzaga.
Certainly a disappointing ending for all of those involved with the women's basketball team and their fans. The Bulldogs have only advanced out of the first round of the NCAA tournament once since 2017. Back to you all.
This is their time. It is Gonzaga's time.
Well, that's right. We are coming off the win with a look into restaurants and bars. Phase 3 started today, which means restaurants can officially have up to 50% capacity. Morgan Trout went to Swinging Doors, where she says guests were thrilled about the Zags and just grateful to be able to watch the game at their annual spot.
It has been amazing in here. I haven't seen this much excitement in a very long time. And it's quieted down a little bit, but you should have heard it when the Zags won. I spoke to a family that said this will be the year that we bring home that championship title. That's a sound Spokane bars haven't heard in 2 years.
You can't explain the feelings that you get. It's the emotion, the people, it's so through the roof emotions, just ecstatic.
The pandemic canceled March Madness last year, so not only is this the first tournament since 2019, but it's Washington State's first day in Phase 3 of reopening guidelines. Jake Sampson says his stress level has been high during the COVID-19 shutdowns, but being able to watch the game at swinging doors with his family helps bring some normalcy back into his life.
This kind of brings you back to earth a little bit and makes you feel that positivity that was kind of gone for a little bit.
His brother Dustin has also been a lifelong fan of Gonzaga and says coming to the bar and having it open to 50% capacity allows for them to enjoy drinks, but also the atmosphere.
You're here. We're at 50% capacity. We're actually being and enjoying it in this establishment. So for me, it's got to be their year. I mean, they've got to be able to take this and just win the entire thing.
You're anxious and have butterflies, but at the same time, that's what it's about and what makes it fun. Win or lose, I mean, it's Gonzaga we're talking about though, so.
And the brothers were right. The Zags have made it to the Sweet 16, so the Swinging Doors will continue hosting watch parties for everyone to attend.
And they believe our undefeated record will let us cruise through the tournament and into the championship because this is our town, our team, and our time. Reporting in North Spokane, Morgan Trow, KREM 2 News.
The Eastern Washington Eagles may be in the market for a new men's basketball head coach. CBS Sports' John Rothstein is reporting that Eagles head coach Shante Liggins is near completing a deal to become University of Portland's new head coach. Liggins has had significant success at Eastern ever since he took the head coaching job 4 years ago. This year, he led the team to the NCAA tournament and went toe-to-toe with Kansas. Last year, he won the Big Sky's regular season title. In the 2 previous years, he led the team to the Big Sky's tournament championship game. Turning to weather now, we have seen it all this past 2 weeks, haven't we? From sunshine to grapple and rain, and now we're seeing a little bit of fog out there. So Thomas Patrick joining us. So Thomas, any more surprises for the rest of tonight?
Well, I mean, what you described wasn't just the past week. It was just today, the past 12 hours. Hey, that's pretty much par for the course when it comes to Spokane weather, especially this time of year. Mother Nature is kind of in that weird in-between phase between having just enough energy in the atmosphere to say, yeah, it's springtime, but it's still just cold enough that we get some icy precipitation out of those early spring showers and storms. You can see just the multitude of the scattered showers that were across the region today. Even squeezed out some thunder. I mean, I heard a couple very loud claps here on the South Hill at around 11 o'clock noon. It was actually during the Gonzaga game that I was watching. I was like, ooh, that was thunder outside. As of right now, though, all these showers are clearing out of the area. In fact, we got clear skies overhead. I can see the moon just over my left shoulder from our outdoor weather center. But notice downtown, a lot of that excess water and just melted precipitation from earlier today is getting back into the atmosphere. So it actually might be a little bit foggy in some areas. Hasn't hit everywhere just yet. So we'll call that patchy at best for now. What about tomorrow? It'll be a clear start to the day, but pretty cold. About 28 degrees for the morning hours. Sunshine will be doing its work. In fact, it'll be sunny all day tomorrow for Tuesday, with our highs once again getting into the low 50s. A lot more 50s, and just like every other week so far this March, I have at least one 60-degree day in the forecast. I'll show you when coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Thomas. Thank you. Chaos and confusion after a mass shooting at a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado. Police there have confirmed at least 10 people dead tonight, including a Boulder police officer. Police say the alleged shooters in custody now. It all started just before 3 o'clock p.m. at King Soopers, a local grocery store chain, after police received a call of an active shooter. Now, within minutes, hundreds of law enforcement vehicles from all different agencies responded. Police say one person was injured who is now in custody. Police say this is still a massive investigation, and they're working to contact all of the victims' next of kin before releasing their names. The officer who died was identified as Eric Talley, a 51-year-old veteran of the Boulder Police Department who had 11 years under his belt. A motive in the mass shooting has not yet been identified.
I also want to stress how incredibly sorry I am for all the victims who were killed at King Soopers. These were people who going about their day, doing their food shopping, and their lives were cut abruptly and tragically short by the shooter, who is now in custody. I promise the victims and the people of the state of Colorado that we will secure justice and do everything we must do to get justice in this case.
Boulder police say they will be releasing more information about the mass shooting tomorrow morning. We'll be sure to bring you the very latest information as soon as we get it. Still ahead here tonight, we have more of your day's top headlines, including the trial date set for a man who was accused of shooting into a crowd in Coeur d'Alene last summer. Plus, later, City Council approving funding to investigate a backlog of rape kits in Spokane County, how victims will be affected.